Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are here with me for yet another video. I wanted to start the new year right and share with you something that has been on my spirit for about 3 or 4 weeks now. Okay, and so what has been on my spirit is this book entitled The Bait of Satan by John Bevere. This book is amazing. I think that every believer, matter of fact, scratch that, everybody should just read this book. In a nutshell, the bait of Satan is literally offense, right? The spirit of offense. When somebody is offended, there's so many ways as to how the enemy will play with that and just destroy relationships, so discords and families, all of those things. But you have to just read it. And so I've shared before some ways that God speaks to me. Some of the ways that God speaks to me is either he will place someone or something on my mind, and it just like probably every day until I do something about it. He will send someone to kind of confirm something I've been feeling or thinking about or even dreaming. And or he will give me a dream, right? To just forewarn me, let me know something's going on. So I want to say I've been thinking about this book for about 3 to 4 weeks now. And I said, okay, every day I was thinking about this book. I said, girl, just get up and look for the book. So I thought that I put it in one of my bins, but apparently it wasn't there. And I wanted the physical book because I like to highlight and I'll, take notes sometimes. And so I was looking for the book, but I couldn't find it. But it came to the point where I was just like, you know what? Because this book keeps coming to mind, I am going to just download it on my iPad. I never did that. Fast forward, literally, I want to tell you, like, staff, some of my staff have been, going at it, just not seeing eye to eye, where mediation had to be involved. My friends or family, they're experiencing some sort of offense, And let me let you know, I am not exempt, because I found myself offended as well. Like, actually, I was mad offended. It's so funny how God works, because I'm here sharing with them, some things that I do whenever I am upset, or, I have to forgive someone, or if I am offended. But now it's like, all right, girl, good. Now you have to apply it. Here comes the application portion. You have to walk it like you talk it. So I'm laughing because it's like, it's not only for y'all, but it's for me. And so I wanted to share that with you guys, because in 2025, I think that we need to be awakened, and we need to, just cover all angles as to how the enemy operates, right? And so we say this all the time: the enemy is weak. He is weak, but he ain't stupid. I think we have to give a little bit more credit, because we keep falling for it. Okay. And so anyway, the bait of Satan, spirit of offense, right? People were getting offended. I'm being offended, all of those things. So anyway, I was doing my morning devotional. And by the way, I'm using the Women's Study Bible, NIV version. This morning, I was reading Matthew chapter 18. Let's go to verses 15 to 17. Okay. So in the title says dealing with sin in the church. So I want to say this because this is how we can combat the spirit of offense, or how we can deal with it. I want to say that because we are going to get offended. Let's be for real. We're going to get offended. But there's ways that we can move past it in a healthy way for reconciliation. Okay. And so it states, Matthew chapter 18, verses 15, if your brother or sister sins against you, go and point out their fault just between the two of you. Okay, so if I have an issue with you, I'm going to come to you, let you know, hey, such and such happened. I feel you offended me. This is how it made me feel. What are you getting off of what I'm saying? Do you agree? Do you not agree? XYZ. It then says, if they listen to you, you have won them over. Great. It states further, but if they will not listen, take one or two others along, so that every matter may be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. So if it doesn't work out between you and I now I have to bring wise counsel, preferably, someone who's not biased, someone, who doesn't really know what's going on. Wise counsel though, and bring them in to share what's going on for the purpose of reconciliation. And I keep saying that because I feel like oftentimes if we do confront somebody, it's usually to go off. Like, you haven't calmed down, the person has not calmed down, but yet y'all want to confront. But then what's the purpose, right? What's the end result? You may end up worse than when you first started. So my tip to you is calm down, pray about it, breathe, use some wisdom, and then do the confronting. Okay, so now it says, bring 1 or 2 people along, right? And so if they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church. And if they refuse to listen even to the church, treat them as you would a pagan or a tax collector. Okay, so thus saith Jesus. All right, this is what this is some of the tactics that he uses. This is what we're supposed to be doing when we're dealing with sin. When somebody sins against us, they offend us. And in this book as well, it has like a portion that says conflict, right? And it says resolving disagreements. So I'll read a few to you all, just because I think it's interesting. It's good. So it says conflict is inevitable in personal relationships. We know that. There's no escaping that. It is humanly impossible to live in total harmony with others at all times. Jesus told his disciples how to settle disputes between believers, and that is in Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 to 20. Paul resolved his conflict with John Mark, which had developed between the first and second missionary journeys. John warned Christians not to hate each other. The Bible offers several tips to resolving conflict and settling disagreements among people. Scripture admonishes the believer to face the conflict. Yes, I think that we sometimes are afraid to do that. Whether we sweep it under the rug, you don't like confrontation, you may feel like it's not that bad, or it is that bad, but you just don't want to confront. That's when people explode, right? Because what ends up happening, little things start to happen, and then you blow up for something that was small in the average person's eyes. But literally it's a culmination of everything that you've been letting slide simply because you did not acknowledge it. You didn't confront. So that's something that you need to do if you are feeling offended. All right. So it says acknowledge its existence and accept its impact. Christ advised his disciples to go immediately and directly to the person, not to your mom, not to your father, not to your sister, to the person, right? And discuss the grievance. Others should be enlisted to mediate the conflict only if the conflict cannot be resolved one-to-one. So like I stated before, if you and I have a conversation and it doesn't get resolved, I now have to bring in wise counsel, okay? Scripture instructs the believer to forgive the conflict, to put the disagreement behind and move ahead in harmony once it has been resolved. Scripture encourages the believer to move beyond the conflict. Paul resolved his grudge against Mark and sought opportunities to minister with him. And so even with that, moving beyond the conflict, I think we need to just be mindful as to how much we're dwelling on the conflict, right? And this is one of the things I said to one of my friends. I just asked questions, right? Like, are you upset at this person because this one thing happened? Or has it been like a slew of things that you pretty much let slide by? And the answer was, it's been a slew of things that she has pretty much let things slide. And so, like I said, a culmination of things just has you, wanting to explode. And it says, Jesus reminded the Pharisees of the greatest commandments, to love the Lord and love your neighbor. That's in Matthew 22, verses 37 to 40. The desire of God is for his children to live in harmony. So we shouldn't even be beefing, okay? Christians are to resolve conflict with others by replacing discord with love. So the emphasis is not punitive, but redemptive. Okay, so we are to reconcile, we are to live in harmony, and this is something that the enemy just doesn't want us to do, and we tend to fall into it, right? Like I said, marriages are broken, friendships are broken, families, are separated, and all of these things because of an offense. You are hurt, angry, something happened, and you may not have addressed it, or however you addressed it, maybe it wasn't the right way to address it. So now, fast forward, some of the other things that I do to help me move forward, to forgive and, just try to reconcile. I dwell on the good things. I try to focus on gratitude. And that's to say, like, I focus on the great times of the relationship, right? Not saying that I'm like ignoring what happened, but I'm focusing on the good times because not all of it was bad, right? Sometimes it may seem like it outweighs the good, but chances are it probably doesn't. It's just that you're in your feelings, you're hurt, you're offended, and so you can't move forward. So for me, I like to think on the good times. I'm laughing. I'm like, okay, we did have a good time. It's not that bad. Maybe this wasn't the person's intentions and stuff. And this starts to change my heart. It may not work for you. This is trial and error though. So I am, please proceed with caution. But that's something that I do that helps me to move forward. Another thing I do is that if I feel any type of feeling, I am immediately bringing it to the Lord. I'm saying a prayer in my mind, my heart, my soul. Lord, please help me with this situation, right? Because there's something that's triggering me. Something happened. And let me help you. How you know you didn't forgive somebody is if you feel some type of way when you see them. You maybe heard their name, you cringe, your heart skips a beat, you roll your eyes. Like, that is how you know that you have not forgiven someone. And I think that it needs to be said because a lot of times it's out of sight, out of mind. So if I don't see you often, or if I avoid you, or our schedules are different, or I block you, or whatever, like, okay, after a while it builds up. I don't really see you like that. But then when I do see you, if I do feel something, you have not forgiven and you have to start the process over. Because the Bible lets us know if you do not forgive someone for their sins, for their wrongdoing to you, God will not forgive you. And that is a lot of power to give to somebody who you upset at. Okay. So yeah, I want to encourage you all, try it. Try to Philippians 4:8 your mind, right? Try to just dwell on what is good, what is pure, whatever is true, what the word says. He gives us clear instruction as to how we can live in perfect harmony with one another. We are going to encounter conflicts, but the goal is to reconcile. It's not to just stay there. And I feel like, this is something that needed to be said, especially entering 2025, right? We cannot be bamboozled by the enemy, by the devil, because of the spirit of offense. And as a matter of fact, I know this video had to come out because I did a video earlier on it, and it come to find out because I wanted to post it today, but it's not going to happen because I have to do a few things and get ready to head out. It literally recorded on mute. Really. So I was like, I was feeling a few ways, but I said, you know what, let me just come inside really quickly and try to, just redo the video because I want to help us all in 2025. We are not going to block our blessings, okay? We are going to do as the Lord wants us to do. We are going to live in harmony. We are going to reconcile. We are not going to let the enemy have a hold on us, a stronghold, and keep falling into the same tricks. Like, one thing I must say, we always say like the enemy doesn't have any new tricks. He's not powerful. He's weak. That is true, but I'm going to give it to him that he ain't stupid. He is not stupid because for some reason, we just keep falling for it. And so, yeah, I just wanted to shed light on that. Please, guys, if you haven't read the book, go get the book. The book is called The Bait of Satan by John Bevere. And like I said, it speaks about the spirit of offense and how powerful that is if we allow it to just fester. And so, yeah, I just wanted to shed light on that dark place so that in 2025, listen, we are illuminating 2025. We are the light and salt of the earth. We are going to walk differently, and we are just going to represent Christ as much as possible. But anyway, with that, I'm going to try to be more consistent with videos in 2025. I definitely have a lot of ideas. I definitely have a lot of things to share with you all. So just pray for me. And until next time, I love y'all. See you soon.